Hello, and thanks for joining me. This is Craps Hawaii. I hope you had fun watching my last video with my friend One Hung Lo. Anyway, I put him on a plane, sent him back to China. Tonight, I want to offer you some words of wisdom. Okay, so first of all, it's very important to read the table so you know what strategy to play and use money management. So let's say when you get up to the table, things that you want to look for is, do people have chips on the rails? And make sure that they didn't just buy in and you see with them a lot of chips because they just bought in. Second thing you can do is ask the players how the table is doing. Third thing is maybe see how the table attitude is. Are they happy? Are they quiet because they're not winning? Most time when the table is hitting, a lot of people are talking to each other. They're happy. Those are things that you want to look for. And then also watch how the shooters are throwing the dice. Okay, other things. I had a friend who was a boxman in Vegas, and he had some advice to me. So some of the things he said was that, I was throwing the dice and at the table and also other people, and then the dice went off the table, so I called my bets off. Of course, most of us do that because we think a 7 is going to be coming, and a lot of times it does. Sometimes it doesn't, right? So anyway, he told me, Mel, why are you calling your bets off? I said, because the dice went off the table. And he goes, and I go, and a lot of times a 7 comes. So he tells me, well, Mel, I sit here at this table because I'm the box man 6 to 8 hours a day. And when you're here and watching the table and how the dice is going 6 to 8 hours a day, I see a lot of dice fly off the table. A lot of times it's just 50-50. It doesn't mean all the time that dice went off the table a 7 came. So now, sometimes the dice go off the table. If the table has been good, I just keep working. But he did tell me that what he sees when the dice comes a 7 a lot of times is to be careful when somebody is rolling and people don't have etiquette and they buy in while the guy is rolling. He said new money into the game, a lot of times dice come 7. Secondly, he said, the stick man controls the dice. And the stick man is usually the guy that makes the table pass. Now, he doesn't physically make it pass, but because he is in a good mood, he's talkative, he's having fun, he's enjoying himself, the table usually is good, he said. But if the stick man is not in a good mood, he feels like, this is just my job, I gotta be here, why am I here, whatever it is, and he's just passing the dice back, not very talkative, a lot of times the table is not good. So those are things that you want to watch for. Other things that I wanted to tell you about is when you're betting, and for example, you see people with a $10 bet on a pass line, and sometimes, depending on what it is, sometimes they have $10 odds. Sometimes they put double odds. and a lot of times it depends on what the casino allows. Okay, so what happens when a few people do this, right? I mean, you got it all over the place. You got here, you got there, you know, odds or whatever. What this does is it hinders the shooter who's at the other end. He has a lot of objects in his way that could hit the dice, not let the dice land the way he's planning to. A lot of times it hits chips, it becomes 7, right? We know all that. So there's no reason actually for you to be betting on the pass line if you are not the shooter. You know, we should always keep the ends clear if it's possible and give the shooter a clear place to throw his dice. Now, an example would be, let's say you got $10 here and $10 odds, and let's say the point was, you know, a 9. So point is 9. So if you were to win, you would get paid $10 even money in the front, $15 in the back, because it pays you 3 to 2. So you would actually make a total of $25. Okay, so now if you had $20, which you had 10 in the front and 10 in the back for odds, and you had it on the 9. Well, you made over here $25, even money with your 10 in the front and 15 in the back for your win. Over here for $20, which is the $10 and the 10 you had in the back, you would actually get paid $28. So you make more money out here, okay? So no reason to be betting back here when you can just place your bets. And that works for every number unless you are betting 5 times the amount of your front bet. Okay, now some places they have double odds. Some places is 3, 4, 5, which would be 3 on the 4 and 10, 4 on the 5 and 9, 5 times on the 6 and 8. Okay, but that is not 5 times the amount that, you know, that you would be playing, where I'm saying you'd make more money on your place bets than if you did it out here, even though it's called 3, 4, 5, because you know already you only can put 3 times the amount. Like if you had a 10 for, let's say, $5 for, you know, just doing low rollers, and you had 10 in odds, because most low rollers, they're not going to put the full amount. Okay, so even if you were a regular roller and you're going to put the full amount of, let's say, 2 to 1 or 3 times the amount, so you would win 5 for your front and you would win double the back, $20. So you win $25. So yeah, $25. But if you took this $15 and put it on the 4 or 10, you would get paid $30. Okay, so no reason for the pass line again. And on top of that, let's say the dice is rolling a lot of rubbish numbers, what I call rubbish numbers, numbers that you cannot collect, like 2, 3, 11, 12, things like that. And you feel like, oh, the 7 might be coming pretty soon. I mean, that's a lot of numbers thrown that I didn't collect, so maybe the 7 might be coming. So with your $15 here, instead of having your money here on the line, you could say, well, off my bet or down my bet on this place bet, right? Over here, you only can take this odds back. This is a contract bet, and you would never be able to take this off. So if a 7 comes, you would lose this. But because you took your bets down from the place bet, you wouldn't lose it. Okay, so that's another thing. And that's why there shouldn't have to be any bets out here. I mean, you shouldn't have to bet a pass line bet when you can just place the bet and make even more money. Okay, I know some of you might say, well, I might catch a 7 or 11. Well, throughout the hours or days that you're going to be playing there, or sessions you're going to be playing there, you're not going to catch that much 7s or 11s on this pass line and make less money here than you would up here by placing the bet. Okay? You could also take your money and you say, well, I think he's gonna make that point. So you could also place any bet up here and say, okay, I want it working on a come out. So it's not that big a deal. Excuse me. Another thing is, you know how people go, well, I can bet 10 times the amount on this place. Some guys say 20 times the amount, or whatever it is, the hotel. So you go, well, gee, I can bet 10 times the amount. So I got $5. I can put $50 odds in the back. And like I said, most low rollers will not do this. And I am, showing low roller strategies at this time. So that's why I'm just mentioning low rollers. But you got to remember now, right now, when you got a pass line and you're playing on a table and you go, well, I can put 10 times odds or 20 times odds or whatever the limit is of that casino, that the 7 is in your favor only on this roll when you're on the pass line. So if the 7 comes, you win even money. Okay, now after that, you go, okay, the point is 9. I'm going to put 50 in the back because I can put 10 times odds, which is $50. But now, the 7 is in whose favor? Is it in your favor? No, it's in the favor of the house. And that's why they don't care if you put 10 times odds, 20 times odds. And I know sometimes, yeah, you're going to make that number and you're going to be all right. I put $5 up front, 50 in the back, right? And I hit that. So you might think, oh, that's a good deal. But how many times throughout that sessions and those days that are being played that the casino is taking this money because the 7 is in their favor? What is in your favor? Even money? And the 7 is in your favor, so you feel like, wow, 7 in my favor. But you don't get even money. Once the point is established, the 7 transfer over to the house, and now you can put more money in the back. Doesn't really make sense. Okay, so that's another thing. Okay, so I just wanted to bring these things up to you and just hand over some wisdom. Okay, now other things, and I'm just gonna do this at low roller status. So let's say you're playing 22 inside. When a number is established and you're going to say this is your strategy, there are like 3 things that you can do, 3 basic things that you can do. So the first thing is, if the dice hits, you win $7 on any one of those. And if, let's say, it does hit a 5, 6, 8, or 9, you win $7. So you can take your $7, right? And if it hits again, you take another $7. And you can continue doing that, right? Of course, you made $21, but you still put out $22. So I'm sorry to say you're still down $1, and you have to have 3 hits. And like I said about rubbish numbers, beside the 2, 3, 11, and 10, it's now the 4 and 11 and 12. It's now the 4 and 10 is added to that because you don't have it, right? So that's one thing you can do, is take the win. Okay, you can hit $7, take it, $7, take it, and leave yourself up here like this. Nothing wrong with that if the table is pretty decent. Now, when the table is, let's say, choppy, right? And let's say the table is choppy, and you take $7. I mean, do you still really want to be out there? Maybe you're gonna say, well, I'm only gonna take one hit, or actually gonna take this, and let's say you hit the 5, so you take this, and you're gonna take back your money. So that's another option for you, right? You can start to take your win and take your money, but don't forget, now you're starting to get holes. Okay, so now instead of only these 4 and 10, now you got 4, 5, and 10. And if another number hits, you're gonna get paid $7, and you're gonna take this and this. Okay, so now you only got 2 numbers. So that's one thing, or I should say another thing. The third thing is, because the money is so small, you don't really have an option except hope for the best and think that you can take a couple hits. Okay, so now it's not really what I wanted to explain because of the smaller bets, but anyway, that was just a small example. This doesn't have it. So let's say now you're a $44 player, a little step up. Okay, so now the table is hitting, it's really running well. So you win, let's say, $14 for a $10 bet. So maybe you want to press the 5 and the 9. Okay, take back $4. Or maybe you want to press the 6 and 8 and take back $2. Because the table is pretty decent, so you want to be pressing. Okay. Now the next thing is, the table is, let's say, choppy. Well, if it's choppy, you know, choppy to not too bad, then, you know, maybe when it hits and you get paid, let's say $7 or $14, I'm sorry, for a 10, maybe what you want to do is, I'm going to take this win, I'm not going to press, I'm going to just take the win. Then another one comes and you take another $14 and you go, okay, off, all down, or you want to play something else, maybe an iron cross or whatever you want to do. Okay, but when the table is choppy to bad, the third thing you will want to play is that, let's say you hit a 5, you collect $14, and you go, you know what, I'm going to depress also. I'm going to take my $14, I'm going to take $5 back from here and depress my 5. You might even say, well, I'm going to even take this side down. And by doing this, you're starting to lower your risk, yeah? Your exposure here. Because you were supposed to only win 14, but now you're taking back 10 more. It's not a win, but you're risking your exposure, okay, to that 7, because the table is choppy to bad. Okay, so those are things that you can do. Okay, now if you were only playing 22 inside, like I said, then you don't have that option of depressing, because when you depress and you win $7 and you depress, you're gonna have a hole here, right? Or if it's a 6 or 8, you're gonna have a hole here. So that's why, unless you're at 44, you cannot depress. And that's why before in some of my videos I say, oh, you're going to depress to felt, right? Because that's what it is. There's nothing there. Now the other day when I was practicing, it was me, Sleepy 25-25, Rick from Let It Roll. We were practicing, and I was playing, I don't know, 130 maybe, Aloha Special, and looking for 2 hits to press, third hit take it down. Okay, so if it was having 2 hits, let's say a 5 hit, that would be 1 hit. You'll pay 50 for 1, and I would press up the 5 and 9. So now we're at 60. Now depends what hits again, right? Could be hitting the 6 or the 8. So if it hits the 6 or 8, it would pay me $35. So I would take $35. I would collect $11 from here, and I would press my 6 and 8 up. To $42. Okay, so that's what I would do. Now the third hit would come, and let's say it hits a 5 or a 9, I would collect $60 more, because I would be at 60. Excuse me, I'd collect $84. Okay, so at that point, all this is my profit, because I started off with 130. Okay, so all this would have been my profit, and that's why I was working on 2 hits, third hit all down, and that would be all our profit. Okay, and then at that point, I would drop down to like 18 each, 10 in the field, just waiting it out. But at this point, I had made 125, 150. $155, $158 profit. 2 hits, third one down, right? So 2 press, third hand down. That's good money. The problem was we couldn't throw at all. We'd throw maybe 1 point, press up, second hit, point, next hit 7. We lose everything because we're pressing, right? Sometimes it was just a point, 7 out, and it was going on and on like that as we were practicing. And we started losing our money because we're only playing with $600, and sometimes I was putting out 160, 240, right? Trying to catch up because we're losing. And that's when I decided that the next day, of course, is when I figured this thing out. And because we're so tunnel vision into 2 hits pressed, third hit down, right? Became so tunnel vision in that. Even at one point we said any 3 numbers thrown, whether we collect or not, we should go down, because the table was really bad. But like I said, tunnel vision, looking for at least get 1, 2 hits then instead of 3, maybe 1 press, second one down. We weren't even getting that. So the next day, I thought about it. In fact, that was actually yesterday that happened, and then today I was talking to Sleepy about this. I said, you know, it's all my fault. I was so tunnel vision into that, and also talking with Sleepy and having him follow me do this, because the days before that I was making a bunch of money doing it, but the table turned bad and I didn't make the correct adjustment, and that's why I'm trying to push this knowledge and wisdom to you, is that when the table is that bad, what I should have done was play Staying Alive, which I preach all the time. Staying alive. So when our first point hit, we would get paid $49 or 50 for 1, whether if it's a 5 or a 9. So let's say $49. So at this point, we would take this $25, this $25, this $25, these $4, and then this 10 press and press it here. So now we're down to $20, like I said earlier in the low roller strategy. We're minimizing our exposure to having the 7. So if the 7 would come now, I would get back $79 from $130, almost $80, right? Taking back. So now that means I was in the game only for $50. And if I continue doing that, I wouldn't have taken out a loss, but instead we're pressing, and then the 7 catch us. Pressing, the 7 would catch. We would have nothing. So let's say the 6 or 8 would hit. We would win $35. $35. So we'll keep $21 of our $35, right? This is our $35. So to depress this, we'll take back $60, and we're going to depress this down. Take another 11 there, right? And that was the 11 we had. So this 11, we'll depress this down, and I would have to give $1, so I'll give $1 from here. And now we got 18 each, right? 18 each, 20 each on the 5 and 9. But at this point, I got back 125, 130, and $8 profit in 2 hits. So if we did this and a 7 would come, we'd still make $8, and that's not much money, but that's better than losing 130 all the time, right? So today we played this way. The table wasn't totally bad. Sometimes it was good. And we ended up making, about $500 twice. And I think Sleepy made $1,000 because he only played 1 session. I played 2, and I made $1,000, $500 each time. So just a word of wisdom: if that table turns south and goes bad, don't get a tunnel vision like I did and say, no, this is what I'm playing, this is what I'm playing. Don't keep insisting on that strategy just because days before, sessions before, you made a lot of money doing it. You need to adjust to that table, and I'm man enough to say that I did it. Okay, even though I show strategies, I'll come out and say I should have made a better decision, and I didn't. So I'd like to pass that wisdom on to you. Read the table. Don't insist just because sessions before or the day before you won a lot of money doing that strategy. This time the table is not doing well. Adjust to the strategy. Okay? Sorry the video ran a little longer than I wanted it to, but I just wanted to make sure I cover those points for you. And in the future, when I put out some more videos for the low roller, maybe it will work. I did a 32 across and easy 46, I think it was. So maybe it'll work on a 54 across, or I don't know, 66 inside, 44 inside. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for stopping by and keeping me company and enjoying you dropping in. Thank you for all your support. Please subscribe, leave a thumbs up. Subscription is free, doesn't cost you anything. So again, thank you for your support. And when you get out there and play, just remember, adjust to the strategy and stay alive.